Hello everyone, in this video we'll walk through the complete installation process of Exchange Server 2019. This video will cover following steps. Review the prerequisites for installing Exchange Server 2019, installation of prerequisites, prepare the Active Directory schema and domain for Exchange Server. Install Exchange Server 2019, configuring URL bindings, DNS entry for Exchange Server, creating a new database, user creation, and mail flow test. Demonstrate how to use Stellar Converter for EDB to export mailboxes. Let's get started. Before we begin, let's quickly review the prerequisites for installing Exchange Server 2019. Make sure your system meets the hardware and software requirements. You'll need a Windows server with the necessary roles and features, along with .NET Framework and Visual C++ dependencies. We've already downloaded the required software and dependencies. For more details, check out the official Microsoft Exchange server documentation to ensure compatibility. Now let's install the prerequisites one by one. This includes .NET Framework, Unified Communications Managed API, and other components. Simply follow the prompts and restart the server if needed. Next, we'll enable certain Windows features using PowerShell commands to ensure Exchange has all the necessary roles and features installed. Let's copy the command and paste it into PowerShell. This may take a few minutes. Now we'll mount the Exchange Server 2019 CU14 ISO file. This will allow us to prepare the Active Directory schema and domain for Exchange Server. Let's navigate to the setup file in the mounted drive and begin preparation. First, we'll prepare the schema, followed by domain and Active Directory prep. This ensures a smooth installation. It may take a few minutes to complete, and there may be some errors that we'll need to address. The process starts with prerequisite analysis, followed by schema preparation. Let's wait for it to finish. Alright, the schema preparation is complete. Next, we'll prepare Active Directory using the command provided. It's completed successfully as well. Now let's prepare the domain. I'll paste the command and run it. And just like that, the domain is prepared. Before proceeding, let's restart the server. Now let's install Exchange Server 2019. I'll mount the ISO file again to begin the installation. Make sure to run the setup as administrator. In the installation wizard, don't check for updates just yet. Click Next to begin the setup process. Once it starts, accept the license agreement and proceed. Here, we'll select the mailbox role and check the box to automatically install the required Windows Server roles and features. We'll leave the installation location as default and disable malware scanning. The setup will run a readiness check. If there are any missing components, it will notify you. We encountered an issue, but don't worry, we can download and install the missing component. After installing the necessary component, let's rerun the readiness check. Everything looks good now, so let's start the installation. The installation will take 15 to 20 minutes, so I'll pause the video and resume once it's complete. Alright, the installation has completed successfully. Now let's move on to configuring URL bindings. Before we do that, let's log into the ECP and explore some of the features. In the receipt mailbox, we currently have just one mailbox that was created automatically. Under the server menu, we can see our server, and in the database tab, we have the default database and virtual directories. Let's proceed with URL binding now. I prepared the necessary commands for this step. Open Exchange Management Shell as administrator and run the commands one by one. While you can run them all together, it's recommended to do so one at a time. Now run the first command. It didn't succeed because of a missing DNS entry, so let's manually add that in the domain controller. Now we'll create the DNS entry for our Exchange server to ensure smooth mail services. Let's go back to Exchange Server Management Shell and rerun the command. This time, it worked. Now we'll repeat the process for the other virtual directories. All virtual directories are now bound properly. Let's check in the ECP, and sure enough, all the URL entries are visible. We've completed this part. Now let's move on to creating a new database. Before that, I'll log into our admin mailbox and set the correct time zone. Now that we're logged in, let's create a new database and verify the changes. Let's run the command to create the database and verify the path and server name. I've named the new database newdb01. Let's paste the command in Exchange Management Shell and run it. The command was successful and the new database is created. Let's check the folder paths and we can see that the .edb and log files are in place. Let's go to the ECP and refresh the page. We can see the newly created database, but it's not yet mounted. Let's mount it. Now, if we check the folder paths, we can see the .edb and log files are there. Next, I'll create a new user in this newly created database. I'll provide their first name, last name, and other details, and then set the password. Now select the new database for this user's mailbox. Let's log into the newly created mailbox to check mail flow. I'll send a test email, and it's successfully delivered to the mailbox. Now let's explore Stellar Converter for EDB, a great tool for converting Exchange database files, EDB, to PST. We begin by downloading and installing Stellar Converter for EDB. It's quick and easy to install with minimal system resource requirements. Let's open Stellar Converter for EDB. Here we'll load an offline EDB database to explore its contents. Stellar Converter for EDB has a user-friendly interface, fast processing speed, and makes it easy to export data with minimal effort. Now let's proceed with converting one mailbox to a PST file. Next, choose the Export option and save it as a PST file. The conversion is quick, and we can see the successfully converted PST file along with its save location. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.